Hello everyone, welcome to the Jacksonville History Show, brought to you by the Jacksonville Historical Society and Comcast. I'm Harry Reagan, President of the Jacksonville Historical Society. Our show is here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Tonight we focus on the Merrill House, our major renovation project on A. Philip Randolph Boulevard. But first, some news about the Historical Society. And we welcome Emily Lisska, our Executive Director. Emily, nice to have you with us.
Hello, Harry.
I mean, you're here every week anyway, but you're sitting in that chair instead of this chair.
I know, it's a pleasure to sit across from you.
And we want to talk a little bit about the Historical Society and some things that have been going on. Big thing, I guess, is celebrating the 75th anniversary.
It was a big thing. It just happened. Our actual 75th anniversary was May 3rd, 1929. And of course, the May 3rd date is well emblazoned in Jacksonville history. That was the date of our Great Fire, albeit 1901. So our actual society, the founders realized the importance of that May 3rd date, and that's when we were founded.
And the society has come a long way, needless to say, in 75 years. They're going to bring up a picture in a moment of the birthplace of the Historical Society. And it's going through some transformations, as is the society itself, I
guess. Which is very exciting. The old Carling Hotel, later known as the Roosevelt Hotel, again, it will be known as the Carling once more when it's ready in 2005.
And there it is.
Yeah, there it is. That was our birthplace. And we will have a dedication plaque on the front of that, a plaque which is ready to go, and that tells that that is our home, and there it is.
And we're keeping our camera operator busy because I'm going to get him to take a tight shot of something sitting here on the table between us, and that will be placed on the building.
That's right.
Of our birthplace. Most people will remember it as the Roosevelt Hotel, but it will become known when it's finished. It will be downtown residential development, and it'll be called
the Carling.
The Carling.
Now, and there was debate. There was some, for a while they talked about Carlington, and I'm happy to say Vescor Properties, they decided they'd give it its old name back, which is exciting, the Carling. And of course the dedication plaque, just simply says it'll be a bronze plaque on near one of the corners of the building on the front facade, which will read on the site, May 3rd, 1929. The Jacksonville Historical Society was founded at the Carling Hotel, dedicated May 3rd, 2004, well, just about, on the 75th anniversary of the society. And we actually did dedicate the plaque, just couldn't place it there.
We had a very nice event at the Florida Theater to celebrate the 75th anniversary and showed an old movie of that vintage. And a lot of people really enjoyed the evening, I think.
Oh, it was a great evening. And it was a movie of the era, 42nd Street. And of course, 1929, the Florida Theater was a celebrated fixture in the city of Jacksonville. It had only opened about 20 months earlier, and it was the showplace of our city. So it was very fitting that we would use that as a venue to have that 75th anniversary celebration.
And it is a major historic preservation success.
That's true.
The Florida Theater, even before a lot of things started happening in Jacksonville, it was a building that was saved. And now it's a major fixture in terms of entertainment venues in Jacksonville.
It was, and a lot of people don't realize at the time the Florida Theater came on board in 1927, the city already had about a dozen movie theaters, but they had never seen anything like this movie theater with the Moorish theme, and this was the theater of the era that was very much the fantasy theater. And you can't walk in there without getting that feel.
Well, we'll take a look at an old photo of the staff, I think, of the Florida Theater standing out in front of the building. And this was a photo about the time of the early years of the theater, at least. And it's just fantastic, I think, that the theater is there, basically in its original situation. And it's an important place in Jacksonville now.
And I think it's interesting to note, for example, that wonderful photograph. A lot of people don't realize one of the other things the Historical Society does, we save and maintain old photographic records of our city, along with all types of records and documents. So in our archives alone, the Jacksonville Historical Society has tens of thousands of photos that are archival of the city of Jacksonville and surrounds. So anybody out there listening who has old photos of the city and you think this is something that should be in an archival repository, I hope they call the Jacksonville Historical Society so we can get those photos or copies.
And the plan is to have those archives in the downtown library.
Very true.
When it's completed, so it'll be more accessible to people and so forth.
It'll be very exciting.
Well, I want to get another photo up to take a look at our our basic home, Old St. Andrews, and the Merrill house right beside it. And if we can get that photo up, one of our crew members will help us with that. Because one of the things that the Historical Society struggled with over the years was finding a home. And not too many years ago, thanks to Matt Carlucci, Dolores Weaver, and a whole list of other people, Old St. Andrews, which was an abandoned Episcopal church, became that project, and now it's our fantastic headquarters. Tell us a little bit about that.
It is indeed. Well, it sits in the heart of what is now the people call the sports complex. Immediately across the street is the arena. You see here in this photo, the ballpark is immediately to our south. It wraps Old St. Andrews, our headquarters, and then immediately north of Old St. Andrews, the Merrill House Restoration Project, which we'll be talking about at length in just a few minutes.
You can't see in that photo, but the arena is across the street.
Big shadow.
So it's a happening part of Jacksonville.
It is a happening part. The arena's to our immediate west. So we are, and in fact, right at the front doors of Old St. Andrews and the Merrill House, that is where the security zone begins for the Super Bowl. So we're really in the middle of it all, and not always is historic preservation and the city's heritage in the middle of it all. I'm very excited from that perspective that we are, that history is sort of center stage for, and will remain center stage in Jacksonville with its location now.
Well, a couple of other things that we ought to mention. Each year, the Historic Preservation Commission gives awards, and we received an award for our 75th anniversary, and the show itself, the Jacksonville History Show, received an award. These are very nice awards. People are recognized for various things that they do in the general category of historic preservation.
The projects are really astounding. You see individuals who renovate historic homes, they get awards. Book publications receive awards. One of ours did, as a matter of fact. So on and on. In fact, may I show it, Harry?
Sure.
You have a minute? Our book publication that just won an award, we are the publishers of The Architecture. I'm going to try to hold that up. There you go. It's kind of tough on camera. The Architecture of Henry John Clouthier. And beautiful book, authored by, of course, Bob Broward, and it was redesigned. It had been published about 15, 19 years earlier, but redesigned by Dr. Wayne Wood. Gorgeous book, just very, very highly sought after. And we're proud of this project and won a big award for this.
And we'll also let you hold up the other book, which is a bestseller. I was so good at doing that.
There you go. There you go.
About the Great Fire. And it's a bestseller. We still have, it went into a second printing.
Yes, it did.
And so copies of it are available. Now, let's talk about a couple of other things quickly. We do publish books. We'd like for people to become members of the Historical Society.
Yes, we would.
That's easy to do, and people who want to support this organization can do so. And they'll come to programs, not unlike the one at the Florida Theater, 5 or 6 times a year.
We have numerous programs during the year, and the one thing, if you're a member, it guarantees you get notices of the meetings, and you can become a member simply by phoning us, 665-0064, going on our website, www.jackshistory.com. So those are some of the ways to find out how to join.
Just briefly on the 75th anniversary again, I want to show a photo, if we can, of the, we had all of, not all, but most of our former presidents there to unveil this plaque that will go on the Roosevelt or the Carling. And so we'll just take a quick look at the former presidents of the organization, still a lot of them with us and very supportive of this organization.
There you go. And goodness, you see there's Jane Still, Sarah Van Cleve, Susan Caven. It looks like
Dr. Emmett Ferguson.
Emmett Ferguson, Jack Milne, Matt Carlucci, and Henry Rogers right there. And we were missing some of our past presidents, but and of course then we have 75 years of past presidents. So.
And one other thing I wanted to mention, we participated in the Charlie Bennett statue.
Yes.
In Hemming Plaza. People will, if they weren't there for the unveiling, they'll see it. It's there and it's well lighted every night. And it's a very nice tribute to an outstanding man and a man who was at the forefront of historic preservation.
He really was. I'm proud to say we played a role. Yes, his first piece of legislation when he was in Congress was, of course, securing the land where where Fort Caroline sits today, Fort Caroline National Memorial. So, and Mr. Bennett has been with us every step of the way, leading the charge for preservation. Of course, we lost him this past year. But of course, at the landing, the wonderful Andrew Jackson statue and his horse Sam Patch. You taught me that, Harry. And then, of course, St. Luke's Hospital restoration, and on and on. It's just been wonderful projects.
Well, let's mention the website, because that's full of all kinds of information, www.jackshistory.com, and all kinds of information, a website maintained by the one and only Wayne Wood.
That's right.
And we're going to take a break now, and Emily's going to move over to this chair and talk to some people about the Merrill House. So stay with us. We'll be right back.